Welcome to In the Spotlight, Howard Community College's show highlighting the Horowitz Visual and Performing Arts Center. On this episode, we'll introduce you to jazz musician Tom Benjamin. You'll meet RepStage's new co-producing artistic directors and get a peek at the first show of RepStage's 21st season. You'll also find out about Howard County's ARTsites program and learn more about HCC's internet radio station. HCC's music department continues their guest artist series this year. Angela Phillips has more.
The series features prominent guest musicians who perform concerts and also work one-on-one with HCC music students. Dr. Wei Der Wong coordinates the series.
We started the guest artist 2 years ago. Actually, before that, we have a project for the invite the Shani to play the 32 piano sonatas here for a whole year in a concert. And after that, we think that would be great to start a guest artist series.
The opening artist this season, Tom Benjamin, is the first composer invited to take part in the series.
We selected Tom Benjamin because in the past 2 years, we invite the mezzo-soprano, pianist, and jazz musician. And this is the first time we think it's good to bring a composer to let our students to have the chance to look at this different field in music.
Since Benjamin was invited as a composer, members of HCC's music faculty performed his pieces for the concert.
I was able, fortunately, to coach pretty much all the performances. I didn't need to, they were doing just great on their own, but it was fun. I love working with and coaching musicians, whether in my music or otherwise. So I was able to be somewhat involved in the whole process, as well as playing one piece in the first classical half and playing a set in the second half of jazz.
HCC's music department is dedicated to providing educational opportunities for students in and out of the classroom.
I think this gives them a very good chance to really know the very well-known performer, how they present, how they perform on stage, and get the chance to talk to those musicians after the concert or hear them to give the lesson during the master class and know that how they learn the music and kind of makes themselves kind of well-rounded to become the great musician.
Benjamin's own interest in music began at an early age.
The earliest I can remember is that I discovered an old saxophone in our attic in our farmhouse in Vermont when I was 5 or 6, and brought it downstairs and asked my dad, "What is this?" And he said, "It's a saxophone." He played in the 1920s saxophone and banjo. And so I thought it would be fun to play and started playing then and there.
After a few years of clarinet and saxophone lessons, Benjamin found himself playing in local dance and jazz bands in his small hometown in Vermont. He soon began arranging pieces for the bands, which naturally led to composition.
I started doing some writing on my own by the time I was 11 or 12. It just turned out that in our little Vermont town lived a person who I think is the greatest of all American composers, Carl Ruggles. And so Carl asked me if I would come over and show him the pieces that I'd written. And I was very glad to, and he was elaborately polite. I'm sure he was much more polite than he needed to be about these fledgling efforts. But that was encouraging and got me going on the composing racket.
Benjamin seamlessly entered the world of music education after grad school, taking a position at the University of Houston. In 1987, he was recruited by the Peabody Institute. He recently retired from his longtime position, but remains a teacher for life.
There is something about teaching that's very engaging for me. I love doing it. I would miss it if I weren't teaching at all. I always arrange to do some teaching. It keeps the mind alive. Every time I go into a classroom or teach a lesson, I assume I'm going to learn something. If I'm not learning something, then I'm doing something wrong. So I make sure that whatever happens, either I'm learning something about an individual student or something about music.
Benjamin has enjoyed working with HCC students this season.
HCC students are on the whole, kind of new to the whole game, and they're exploring and seeing what they have in themselves to bring to the table, the musical table. And I just think they're a lot of fun to work with because they don't have an overlay of sophistication. They bring a certain directness and excitement to the enterprise, which I find really engaging and fun. I really like working with them.
Guest artists this season include cellist Amit Peled, vocal and piano duo Joan Morris and William Balcom, and returning pianist Ann Koscielny. For more information on the Guest Artist Series, visit howardcc.edu/concerts. For In the Spotlight, I'm Angela Phillips.
RepStage, the professional equity theater in residence here at HCC, is celebrating its 21st season. Taking over the artistic helm are co-producing artistic directors Suzanne Beal and Joseph Ritsch.
This is a position that is, for the first time, being shared by two people. My partner, Joseph Ritsch, and I are the co-producing artistic directors. And the responsibility of the artistic director of a theater is really to champion the theater, to select the season, to do some directing, to help the theater move forward and reach out to the community. And to make sure that the artistic quality of the work is the very, very best quality, and that the work that we do and that we produce engages the audience and transforms them in some kind of way.
An artistic director's, I think, main responsibility is the vision for the theater and the programming. So that is something that Suzanne and I will create together. And that's always a delicate balance because you have to consider your own personal vision and aesthetic as a theater artist matched with the commercial end and selling tickets and keeping your audience happy.
Beal comes to RepStage with a unique blend of experience in theater and higher education. An accomplished director and playwright, she is currently the board chair of the Maryland Ensemble Theater in Frederick, where she is also an associate artist and resident director.
I've got a very strong background in theater. In fact, I directed here years ago. But my career has been, for the most part, in community college education. I've been a faculty member and an administrator, and I think the combination of those two make me ideal for this theater, maybe not for a different kind of theater, but RepStage is a professional theater that's a part of a college. And so the fact that I have a background in academic administration, I think, makes me a good leader for this organization.
Ritsch is also a theater educator and artistic administrator. A director, performer, playwright, and choreographer, he is the co-founder of Iron Crow Theater Company in Baltimore, where he also served as associate artistic director. He believes that being a team player makes him a good fit for the position.
I think people really like being in the room with me. I'm really, really collaborative. I think I really balance a strong opinion about my own vision about things, but stay really open to how that can be enhanced by the people that are in the room with me. So I think that's my biggest strength in regards to that.
Both Beal and Ritsch are inspired by the unique experience of theatrical productions.
I've talked in the past about theater creating a sacred communal space. We have very few places where people congregate and experience something together. And that's something that theater does. It's unlike television or the movies. We have to experience theater together. And I find that very inspiring and very moving and very celebratory a lot of times.
I love storytelling. I think it's really important, and I think live theater, you tell stories in a way that no other medium can, television, film. I also love the fact that you can have a room full of 150 to 1,500 to 400 strangers coming together, and although their experience is very individualized, they go on the same journey together, and there's something very empowering about that.
Since outgoing artistic director Michael Stebbins already selected shows for the 2013-2014 season, the duo's first priority is to assess and define the organization's mission.
We are really spending this fall doing some strategic planning with the RepStage community, the people on our campus who are a part of RepStage, either working directly for RepStage or are connected vis-a-vis their role at the college, thinking about the mission, the vision, and the core values of this theater. RepStage has a mission, but we're going into our third decade, and now's a wonderful opportunity for us with two new leaders to stop and think about who are we, what do we want to be, how do we want to focus our energies, what kinds of things do we want to produce. Certainly we want to reach out to the college community to make sure that we are well connected to the curriculum and to the students. We want to reach out to the community of Columbia. I mean, I think I can say, without question, that one of the goals of RepStage is to be absolutely the first choice for professional theater for the residents of Howard County.
Beal and Ritsch are excited about working together to plan RepStage's future.
Well, Joseph and I are really, really very different people. We've got different backgrounds, different sensibilities, different professional experiences, but it is very exciting to bring those together. And something that's real interesting is that even though we are very different, we see things very similarly. We've found ourselves to be very compatible to, we agree on some of the shows that we like. We've agreed on the way we want to conduct our business here, and I think that's been really wonderful.
I think it's a good partnership because of our very individual backgrounds and the unique experience that RepStage is, being a professional theater that's housed at a community college and its connection with the college. So both Suzanne and I background in those areas, as well as our artistic areas, kind of coming together, make it a really great partnership.
For more information about RepStage or its co-producing artistic directors, check out their website at repstage.org. RepStage's newest season opened with the play A Young Lady of Property by Pulitzer Prize winner Horton Foote. Set in a Texas town in 1925, the play stars RepStage veteran Christine DeMuth in the title role of a young girl who loses her mother at an early age. Her greatest wish is to live in the house her mother left her.
I just love this character. She's incredibly matter of fact, but she's also a great dreamer, and she lives with her aunt. Her mother died when she was quite young, and she's kind of not able to move forward in her life because she is still so attached and kind of living in the past. And her whole identity is built over the fact that she, as a 15-year-old girl, owns this property.
Wilma and her best friend, Arabella, played by Katherine Zorb, dream of moving to Hollywood to become movie stars.
I think mostly what the journey is with her is she has these dreams of the future, big dreams. She's constantly changing her mind about what she's going to do with her future.
When it becomes apparent that her dream is not likely to come true, she struggles with whether to stay in town or pack her suitcase and go. Wilma's Aunt Gertrude, played by Yvonne Erickson, is a great support to her.
Gert's big investment in Wilma, other than being her moral compass, is making sure that her future is insured, and in this case it means inheriting the family property.
Another important figure in Wilma's life is Minna, the housekeeper, played by former HCC student Erica Lauren McLaughlin.
She pretty much gets two moms in Minna and her Aunt Gertrude, and with the two of us, and we've kind of formed this really kind of pieced together family, which is really, really lovely. And I love this character because it is something that you see all the time. You always kind of have those housekeepers and things like that, but I love to be able to have a different version of that, like somebody who's really a part of this family in a really unique way.
A Young Lady of Property was directed by former RepStage producing artistic director Michael Stebbins.
Working with this group has been really a joy. A lot of that comes from Michael Stebbins. I think as any production is sort of measured by your leader, However, I think because we have people, a mix of people who've been on the stage here before and who haven't, so there's a new excitement about being here.
This ensemble is awesome. They were so great. I feel like we all have a really good chemistry together, which is really, it doesn't always happen, so it was really a great thing. I guess that all comes from Yvonne and Stebbins picking the right people to work with each other, but I feel like we have a true love for each other and a true joy and spontaneity on stage.
Erickson, who is also a RepStage staff member, feels A Young Lady of Property is relevant for audiences.
It fits into the Horowitz Center's theme of time and memory, and RepStage's own themes of time and memory, as all of our shows touch on that this season. The memories that Horton Foote elicits from, I think, the audience with this play are memories of home, family, conflict, but also resolution and how we go on with our lives.
I hope that audiences will take away the sense of joy in living in the moment and just appreciating the people that they're with now, and being able to, as Wilma, keep the memories of those they loved alive, but not to let it prevent them from living a full life, and not to let it scare them in just, just going for the future and realizing their dreams and realizing that there are new, wonderful memories to be made.
For more information on RepStage's 21st season, check out their website at repstage.org. If you've visited the Horowitz Center recently, you've probably noticed intriguing works of art at the north and south entrances. Grace Anastasiadis has more on the story.
Two sculptures, The Cycle by Hannah Gibran and Autumn Amber by Glenn Zweigart, have been brought to campus through a Howard County Arts Council program called ARTsites. Coleen West, Executive Director of the Arts Council, is passionate about the program, now in its second year.
Public art enhances and enlivens community spaces. And so a public art program like ARTsites offers the public an opportunity to see art where they might not otherwise see it.
As part of the annual ARTsites initiative, 12 sites around Howard County are selected to receive a sculptural piece. Artists from across the country are invited to submit works for selection.
The sites that are invited to participate get to pick their own artists, so they are invested in the process. They get very excited about the work that they're selecting.
Response from the community has been encouraging to West and her team.
One of the stories that I've heard from a group of cyclists is they cycle around Columbia, and they have been trying to get to each of the sculptures as a cycling group.
HCC's ARTsites piece for 2012-2013 was The Cycle, located on the campus quad at the north entrance to the Horowitz Center. The featured piece for 2013-2014 is Autumn Amber, located in the Moxley Garden at the south entrance to the Horowitz Center.
Glenn Zweigart was one of the artists who came to us through our promotional efforts. His work was absolutely amazing. The stonework that he does is just so exquisite. His craftsmanship is just excellent.
Zweigart was attracted to ARTsites for many reasons.
I think I heard first through word of mouth that I needed to look into the Howard County Arts Council because they were offering an excellent fee for the rental or the exposure of your sculpture. And the other interesting detail is that I attended graduate school at Maryland Institute, and I did a graduate seminar on cities and urban development and ran across Columbia, which was being developed at the time. And it is laid out, it was planned to be an ideal community. And it's so fun for me to come back and now be participating in the ideal community.
As a longtime faculty member of New York State College, Zweigart values higher education and is delighted to have Autumn Amber placed on a college campus.
I just think it really fits beautifully in this setting. And I think the two of them are talking very much to each other. And that's really what I like about outdoor sculpture, is that it can enliven its environment. It can be this kind of focal point.
West hopes the program continues in the future.
The ARTsites program is a great first step because it allows the Arts Council and its partners to experiment and test the idea of public art. So this gives us an idea of what the community likes and enjoys and what they would like to see more of without the financial risk involved in a more formal program. But we're going to take what we've learned from this process, continue to build on it, and build towards a formal public art program, and so that we can continue to delight and engage the community for years to come.
HCC has purchased the cycle, and the college is still accepting contributions towards the piece. If you would like to play a role in supporting public art on campus, please contact the HCC Educational Foundation at howardcc.edu/donors. For information about the Arts Council's ARTsites program and sculpture locations, visit hocoarts.org. Autumn Amber can be viewed at HCC through April 2014. I'm Grace Anastasiadis for In the Spotlight.
When you tune in to HCC's internet radio station, The Dragon, you won't be able to miss the station's new sound or the familiar voice of its new program director.
I have about 30 years of experience in commercial radio. The last 18 years I was host at Mix 106.5 in Baltimore as JoJo Girard. I was the leader of two shows, JoJo and Kenny for 12 years, and then JoJo and Reagan for the last 6. And I did morning radio in 4 different markets in the United States and 1 in Mexico.
As program director, Sheltraw's first order of business was to focus the station's playlist.
They were playing in an adult alternative format, but there was no structure to it. Not that the music was bad, it just wasn't structured. And so what I did is I divided it up into categories, current and oldies, and that will rotate at a fairly even rate. So the biggest change I did was categorize the music and make it more current, playing a lot more modern hits.
Although his background is in music radio, Sheltraw has continued some of the station's talk programming.
There were 2 shows on the air that were different from the music format. There was A Look Ahead, which was a look at the various events going on around campus that ran daily. And then one of the employees here at HCC did a jazz/talk program, which was half music, half talk. So what I did is I retained those 2 shows. And then there was also a sports talk show pertaining specifically to Howard Community College sports. And I thought that was well done, and it was self-sufficient. They took care of it themselves, so that was retained.
In redeveloping HCC Radio, one of Sheltraw's biggest goals is to increase student involvement. Working with him to achieve this is Assistant Radio Program Director and HCC alum Chris Oviedo. As a graduate of the television and radio program, she knows the importance of hands-on experience for the students.
I started as a student, then I got a job here, and that has helped me gain confidence, and move forward with my career. So I invited students to do the same thing. I invite them to take advantage of that we have this wonderful person here working with us now. Howard brings a lot of experience. He teaches them, he lets them go in and do their thing, and then they bring something out to him. And he will tell them, he's like, this works, and this we can work on making it better so that it actually can air. So I've seen a few students come in with projects, and after a few weeks, they've been on the air. That's really exciting. That's really great for students to have that opportunity to just be on air and have that on your resume. I think it's great.
Oviedo is also responsible for adding Spanish language programming to the station.
Te saluda tu amiga Cris Oviedo y te agradezco por acompañarme.
Chris is from Ecuador originally, and she, when I got here, said, I would like to do a Latin show. And I said, go for it. She's really passionate about that music. I think it's an emerging format in professional radio. I mean, every city now has a Spanish language and Latin music focused show or station. So I thought that was a good idea. And then I think also, too, it gives voice to that side of the HCC community.
Taking into account HCC's diverse student population, Sheltra and Oviedo developed programming that enables any HCC student to get involved with the station.
You have students of all ages, of all backgrounds, and they also are working. A lot of them are part-time or putting themselves through school that way. So their time availability is limited. And so what me and Chris did is that we came up with ways they could be involved for as little as 10 minutes a week. And so we put together a little newscast which highlights things going on around campus that day that they could come in and record after class and only take up 5 minutes of their time.
Sheltra has enjoyed working with the students.
I think the experience for me, I didn't know what to expect coming in, and I think it's been more rewarding than I thought. There's Adam, who came in here with a nugget of an idea and then worked at it and kept developing it, and seeing that development in him was rewarding.
The future of HCC Radio looks bright under Sheltra's direction.
I'd like to to get people out in the field and do more field recording, go to events and interview people out on location. The more students involved, the better. And also, I think there's a gap. There's an idea that I have, which is kind of large scale, is that Howard County doesn't have really a media voice. It's kind of stuck between Washington and Baltimore. And I mean, if we could start putting together shows for the community at large, that would be kind of good too.
You can listen to HCC Radio The Dragon by visiting howardcc.edu/HCC Radio or by downloading the Live 365 app to your smartphone. If you'd like to find out more about the station, contact Howard Sheltra at hsheltra@howardcc.edu or call 443-518-3029. Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to learn more about the Horowitz Visual and Performing Arts Center, you can go to howardcc.edu/Horowitz Center. I'm Janelle Broderick for In the Spotlight. See you next time.